Testing 1 2 3. Testing the microphone 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 on the microphone here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trading Within the Box here, August 5th, 2023. And I want to go over the weeklies today. We're going to go over all the weekly charts to see where we're at with a market pullback here. Okay, first of all, this is not a recommendation or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any stocks, bonds, futures, or forex, or anything in the stock market, any equities. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact a licensed professional or the brokerage house of your choice, and they will help you there. Okay, please like and subscribe and share my channel if you like the content here and if it helps you out. I'd like to know if it does. Okay, so let's get to it. First of all, we got the weeklies here on August 5th. 2023 on a Saturday here. Okay, so now where are we? Okay, so let's look what's happening here. Now we're getting a pullback, okay? Pullback in the market here, and let's see. And this, we had a feeling that this was going to happen, because where were we? All the way at the top in the red zone, okay? Like I used to say, right now we're up in the red zone area, okay? And we're pulling back and we're selling off a little bit there. Now, we don't have any retesting here or anything like that on a weekly yet, okay? So let's go over volume. Let's go over volume on the S&P 500 here, okay? So here it is. We're at, right now, coming down with this week, 376 million shares, okay? So we're already into this bar here with 361. So we're into this bar, so we could test this down to this bottom area here at 439 or 437, okay? So we have to see where we're going to be and what area we're going to probably stop at and possibly get a bounce and then get maybe an M formation. So see how we're going to go like this. Let's draw an imaginary exponential moving average. And let's say we come down to this area or come a little lower, and then we stop and we come back. Now, on a weekly chart, if we get this and then we get a lower high and they start slamming it to the downside, you know we're getting correction, okay? So that's what we're waiting to see here, okay? Let's flip over to a daily chart on the S&P 500, and we'll be at a support area coming soon here, okay? So right in this spot right here, at 443.42 today. It closed this week at 446.81 on the S&P 500. Okay, but look at the massive sellers here. Now look at the sellers. See the right in those areas. Look at the sellers now, and look at the buyers. Okay, so coming down, we have a ton more sellers than we do buyers here. Okay, so we're definitely getting a pullback here, but we don't know how far back we're going to get it. How we'll know is let's look at the volume as we're coming down, okay? So we know that these areas, they always come back to these areas right here, okay? These markets always come back to, that's why there's support there, okay? But as we're coming into those areas, what are we going into? 93.9 million shares, and then we look at the swing points here, and let's say we have a 104 here, okay? So we are coming into some strength right there, okay? And we're coming into a 110, okay? With 100 million and a 93, okay? So let's see if we hold here, okay? Let's see what's going to happen when we get to that spot, okay? Right now we're still heading to that spot. Let's flip over to the SDS, which is the shorts of the S&P 500, which is the flip side, the reverse side of the S&P 500. And, of course, the buying is coming in, okay? So we had gone last time when we looked at it, and we weren't 100% sure, but now we get a little bit of a confirmation. Now, somebody says to me, well, how do you know that this wasn't it, and then it failed, and the same thing's going to happen? Look at the interest of buying here, a little bit stronger than last time, right? Okay? A little bit stronger than this time that they bought off that spot, okay? So same thing here. We came off and we did have a little bit of a trade there. Okay, and that was, let's say, that was at 38.84, and that went up to 41.11. So that was a pretty good trade for, let's say, a week. Okay, so let's say you got 10% out of that. Okay, so now we want to see retesting. So what do? Now let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, now we go to the daily chart and we want to see, and I had drawn some supply and demand areas, okay, on the charts, okay, with the blue and the pink here, okay. So now as we come up, we have some nice strong volume. Do we get retests? Let's see if we get retest W's, okay. So we get a V formation here. Let's see if we come back. So if we come back, let's say we come up, we come back, and we retest this demand spot right here. We start buying off it, you know, we're going up. Okay, so that's something that we have to have. This whole game is about patience. You could win or lose by not having patience in this game, okay? You know what to do, but you just can't wait. That's the problem. That's maybe one of the biggest problems. So that's also market psychology. We could do another video about market psychology too. So we're going into right now into this gap area. So right here, so we want to see a pullback into this spot. So we're coming up with 8.6 million shares on a daily chart on the SDS, which is the reverse side of the S&P 500. Okay, and now we are into this spot right here. So 1.684 million shares. So we're going to blow this away, okay, at one point here. Come up with 3 million, come up with 2.9, 3.8, and 5, and this area right here, which is 5.5. Okay, so right now, okay, we have closed. Let's see where we closed. We're closing into this area right here. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull the chart back again once more. Okay, and let's see what we're getting. Let's pull it back to a 2-hour chart on the SDS, and here we go. Okay, here we go. Now we're managing, right? Because we know we got trend. Let's say we get sideways consolidation. We get the step up pattern. Okay, we got another little consolidation here of accumulation, and then after the accumulation, what's the buy right there? Okay, you got the engulfing. Okay, so this is something that you'll probably get another sideways thing, and then if you get the step pattern, you'll be pretty strong, and we'll just keep following it up. Okay, right now it has good volume. Right now, let's look at the 45-minute chart where the volume is, and it's very nice. Okay, before we were looking down here when we were first coming down, and we saw nothing in this area right here, right in this spot. And then we said, oh wait, we got a little bit, some buyers coming in. We made a video about that the buyers were coming in sideways. Boom, we got a little bit of the breakout, and we hold support. We got a new support area, and what? Good volume on the 45-minute chart. Not incredible volume, but good volume, okay? So that's something that you're going to want to keep watching and get that little pullback too on the SDS. Now, let's look at the IWM, because that's going to also give us an indication of where we're going, okay? So right now on the IWM on a weekly chart, okay? So the shorts, right? So now we're pulling back here, okay? So TZA now, let's say. So now we go to the short version of, there was a huge buyer I wrote down right here in this area. There was a huge buyer coming in here, okay? So you'll see here, these are just day trades with the arrows, okay? So you'll see right here, right in this spot, 82.16 million shares, and then we're coming into this candlestick right here with 62. So we should test this spot at this 24.55, and then once we get into that, let's see 82 million on 68. So we're gonna definitely come. We should not definitely. Nothing's definite, but it should come up to, let's say, 25.60 at one point here. We're 23.59 right here on the TZA, and that's a short version of the IWM, okay, on the 3 times short version. Okay, so now let's go over to the Qs, 3 Qs. That's NASDAQ, okay, and right here, look at this. Now we're up here, we're up in this range, and we're the supply area. There's no question about this, that we're in the supply area right here, and it's pulling back, okay? So now we got a pullback, and now we look at the volume. Now let's look at the volume on coming down. So on the weekly chart on the QQQ, the 3 Qs, almost 268 million shares coming down, going right into this candlestick. So we got candlestick, you got 250 million shares coming down. So we could retest the bottom of that area. So we could test the 364.44 at 372.04. Okay, so let's go to SQQQ, which is the short version. Actually, sorry, SQQQ, which is the pro shares for the short version of the NASDAQ. Okay, so right here, we're coming off the bottom here, and we're just holding the support area, okay, right now. So this is a little stronger than the other ones, okay? The DOG, which is the Dow, short version of the Dow. Let's look at the weekly chart here first, okay? I had drawn some supply and resistance areas, okay? So now we're into this candlestick here. Because we're looking at overviews here. We're trying to find out which direction, okay? So this bar has 4.26 million shares. We close into this bar that has 3.229 million shares. So we could test the top of the range of that at 32.30. Let's say it's, let's see what the high of that was. The high was 32.40. Okay, we're 31.93 here. So we could test that area, okay? So let's see what happens when we go into those areas, okay? And then, that's resistance right up there. Let's see if it fails. And when it gets up into those spots right there, okay? I even drew a line right there where the profit taking would be, okay, on the DOG. So let's go over to a daily chart on the DOG. And this is how we break it down. We want to inspect what's going on underneath the hood of the car, okay, here. So here we are, okay, so we come up and we're in a little bit of a resistance area. So we want to, be careful and take profits as it keeps getting up there, because this market is one of those markets where you're buying off the demand area right in here where it's sunk down into demand area. You could have started your trade right here at 31.62, but then it sunk down and pulled more shares out at the 31, let's say, 56 range, okay? That was a nice buy point, because it came in with decent volume, okay? And then we come up, boom, we get a velocity candlestick. Now, a lot of times with the velocity candlesticks, you'll get the drift back, okay? So now you're at resistance right here, and you got a little supply area right here. Now you want to drift back with lighter volume, and right here, right in this spot right here, this is where, I'm just drawing an area. It's never exact, but you want to be able to catch this again so you can head back up. Okay, so that's what we want to look at, defining where the trend is first, and then you want to break down where the buy points are, and look at the volume on the 45-minute chart, which I always like to see because it's nice and clean. And if you look at it right there, you see really no sellers. As this thing came back, there was no sellers at all. Zero sellers. Okay. So you can visualize. I like to visualize this because I can give a mapping of where I'm going, where I'm heading, and where I'm coming back to. Okay, so you want to so now up here, you don't really see a lot of buyers here, so you want to pull back. You want to drift back to that spot, and that's got up and over, and now we want to hit that buy point right there. Okay, so let's say you're in that trade. Okay, so now XLF, because we're going through the banks, and let's go through the banks here. Now let's look at the banks here on the XLF. So we're hitting a support area on the 45-minute chart. Let's go to the weekly because we want to know what's going on. Now, this is not a surprise. People are saying, oh, man, I thought this market was going through the roof. This is a trader's paradise market, okay? That's what this is, okay, here. So look at the weekly here, okay? So we come up into this bar. Now you're coming into this downdraft here, okay? Now, when you're into this bar here at 408 million shares, okay? So watch the volume on the XLF. Watch it right here as you're going into it. Now you're in this downdraft candlestick, going into it with 207 million shares, coming down with the 408. Okay, so you're into that candlestick, but you're going in with a lot lighter volume, so you're failing at this point. You're failing. You're inching up. You're teething up into this spot right here, into this monster downdraft. Okay. Supply line right there. Boom. Okay. So these markets always like to come back to where they started off too. So as you look at here in this spot right here, okay, let's just say, Okay. This, correction could be coming down into this area right here. Let's say at, where is that at? Let's say 33.89. You're at 34.91. Now, this stock doesn't move a lot, but you want to see where the direction of the market is heading. Okay. So that's why it's struggling up there. It's struggling up there because you have a lot of downdraft volume as you were coming into this point here. Okay. So that's something that you want to keep an eye on the banks, because you want to know which way between the banks and the SMH, you want to know which is the direction of this market, where we're heading, because that's most of the market. And then you look at the speculators to see which way things are going to go first. Okay, so now you're up all the way at the tippy top here. Okay. So you're in a supplier. Of course, you're getting problems up here. That's why a lot of people say, oh man, I'm trying to trade up in that area, and I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I can't do it. It's because you're fighting through this sideways consolidation here, and look at the bottom here. You got more people interested in selling this market than buying the semiconductor market. Okay. So that's something that you want to always watch, those two. Okay, Amgen. Let's go over to Amgen because we're running out of time here, okay? Amgen, now I want you to look at Amgen, okay? So Amgen has relative strength in a soft market right now that's pulling back, okay? So those are usually huge, okay? So we get relative strength, okay? So that's something we've been following for a while. Remember with the W formation, stopped at the right side, engulfing, incredible follow-through volume. And now what? You stop here, you dig back into this area right here, which is a big buy area. Okay, now this is a weekly chart, so it's hard to see. And what they do, they slam it right to the upside again. Okay, now we want you to look at Amgen as you're looking at Amgen as it's coming into this candlestick that was on April 24, 2023. 10 million shares. Okay, so when you came down April 23rd, you're coming up with 14.76 million shares, okay? So you're already closed now into the April 17th bar, okay? You have 8 million shares going into it, 14.76. Okay, so 250, you could get up in the 250.71 range on Amgen. Today, at the close of the week, 8.5 on August 5th, it's 243.28 here, okay? The swing point has 9 million shares on a weekly chart. So this is incredibly strong, solid, with relative strength. Just had earnings and busted to the upside, okay? So that's something that this is a thing of beauty here, okay? So it's been a thing of beauty here all the way up, okay? So on Amgen, okay, as we were getting up and we kept buying. Now, watch this. You came back, you had a W, you stopped. You came back with what? Lighter volume. Okay, you had nice volume at the V shaped recovery here. Come back. Now you get light volume, but you get nice engulfing. So you want to know, what were they going to do? Were they going to pop this to the downside to here? And then they held it. Okay, they held it with a higher low. So now you know, what do you know? You know that this area right here, I'm sorry, let me put another spot right here, okay? You know where they bought. You have a demand area, okay? So you come back, you come up and over, okay, I'm up, and this is uptrend now, okay? Now I come back, and I form another W formation with an engulfing, okay? Come up, right up to the resistance area, okay? And then we get up and over. Then what? Now we go back to, you'll even see it right here. You go back to the demand area right there. Comes right back into it, and boom, earnings were outstanding. Bam! You get a gap up right into resistance at 242, let's say close at 242, 243.28, okay? So now this is something that you want to see what they're going to do. Are they going to get followed through, or is this thing going to just pull back again, and then boom, we're going to go up again? So that's something we're going to keep managing. How do we manage? Let's go to a 2-hour chart. Amgen, okay? We get the post volume and we get the velocity gap up, okay, to the upside. Now we want to see where it's going to hold. Is it going to hold here, or is it going to hold right here, okay? Or is it going to fill the gap? We want to know which areas are going to hold. So we just keep watching on a smaller time frame, okay? How I always like to look at the volume. We go to the 45-minute chart, okay? And then the 45-minute chart, if you look at it, so we have some buying, and then we have a mixed bag here right now, okay? But we're going to look to see if we're going to hold the support and then start heading up, okay? And you can always do that on a small time frame too, okay? You can look at the 15-minute chart. The 15-minute chart shows with the beautiful volume coming in right there and then coming up, and now you got a sideways consolidation. You got another breakout. We're off to the races again, okay? We're off to the races again on Amgen. I love these relative strength stocks because and then you do the weekly analysis, and then you can kind of give your direction of what, make a little notes of where you want to go with this, okay? The CME Group, another relative strength stock, okay? Market pulling back, strong volume, okay? That's what you look for. You want to look for relative strength stocks, and you could always go to a heat map and see also where the relative strength is too, okay? So now you know you're up in resistance. You're in a supply area right now. So you have to be careful because you made money here. Let's say you were in this. You held, boom, you got the engulfing. Now this is on a weekly basis, and then you headed up. So now you say to yourself, okay, this trade at 176 or whatever to 207. Okay, a lot of the run is in already, okay. But then go to a daily chart and see, you know, how you can keep managing. Now, what do you see here? What do you see as you look at this with the step pattern, okay? Look at the step pattern here, okay? And you have that beautiful step pattern as you look at this and you keep following it. Boom, with the engulfing. Sideways consolidation, engulfing, boom. Holding with relative strength, now in resistance on a daily chart. Now in resistance, okay? You have to be careful because you don't want to go chasing and then you get scared out, okay? You want the lowest probability trade, okay? You know, you have a demand area right in this spot now. So if you're coming, let's just pull it back a little bit, come back and you dip into this area, look at the volume here, you want to look at it closely, okay? Let's go to the gold stuff. Got to keep watching the GDX, which is the gold miners stocks, and we drew the supply and demand areas in the GDX. So we have increasing volume on a weekly chart, but heading to support. Okay, so now let's do the volume analysis first. Okay, so we know we're into this bar, 118 million shares coming down with 115.96. Okay, so this is something that I want to see if we're going to hold here and then start heading up. Are we basing here on the GDX? Are we basing right there? Now here's the demand area right there. Okay, if this breaks, okay, down, you're gonna test this area right down here. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen with that. How are we gonna kind of know? Excuse me. We're gonna kind of know with the volume. So we're into this bar here on a weekly chart, coming up at 210, coming down with 115. Okay, so that's a good sign for us. Okay, so we know we have the massive buyers and all the contracts are down here. Okay, and we know we're coming into this bar with lighter volume. Okay, let's look at it on a daily chart now and see where the GDX is heading. Now the GDX on a daily chart, you're in a demand area. Okay, so you could still get this to come up, and then you would come down. Now if you hold in one of these demand areas, okay, and boom, you get the engulfing, and we get the volume, we're off to the races, okay, to the upside on the GDX, okay. So at the 3-peak spot right now, let's see what happens if we come down a little bit lower. So we're into this right now. Let's look at the volume, and we only have a few more minutes left here. Volume 24 million, almost 24 million shares. Okay, so same thing here. Okay, let's go over here. So now we're coming down into these areas we could go a little bit lower, okay? Let's say we go a little bit lower to 28.78, okay? We could even get down to this, down in this area right here at the 28.52, okay? So let's see, though, because right now, let's say if we get a bounce, let's see what kind of a bounce we're going to get. Okay, we have a little short covering coming in here. And let's look at the volume, okay? Right now, we're not convinced. There's no buyers right now in GDX, okay? We're not convinced here, okay? We're not convinced at all. So, not yet, though. Things could change. Look at the shorts right now. We weren't convinced about a week and a half ago, and now we're a little convinced, okay? So, with that said, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, share my channel if you can. If you like everything here, have a wonderful weekend, and watch the shorts. Continue to watch the shorts and watch where this market now. And then S&P 500 heading to a support area. Be careful at that point when you're in the shorts, okay? Just watch the shorts, okay? This market pulling back. Have a great day.